Okay, salute the partner. Good. Chop the wrist. She swings around, steps around, cuts the wrist. She then pulls level knife, goes for the neck, and now thrusts to the belly. Okay, now if you remember, I then went to poke her ribs. She just sat back a little bit, pressed down, which neutralized it. So she got her body out, kind of out of the way, pressed down. Now she's stepping around. She's coming around. She replaces with the right foot, rolling up onto the left toe. She then steps in with the left foot and cuts towards the wrist. Now you notice B has a lot of movement. B has an awful lot of movement here, whereas A just pretty much stands there, and B has all these movements. So if you go from, say, if you go from pull level knife, yeah, from the neck cut. Okay, so thrust. Now here, she sits back, presses down. She steps to the side and in with her right foot. This is either an uppercut or a block. She then swings her saber around and cuts to the wrist. Now, if you remember, I got my wrist out of A got his wrist out of the way, which made the neck. So she opens up her left foot, steps in with her right foot, and cuts the neck. You see? And this is a nice little slicing neck cut. Okay? Slicing neck cut. Okay, so go back to thrust if you would, please. Maybe if you move back that well. Okay, so she's thrusting to the ribs. Now, I go to poke her belly. She presses down, sidestepping, getting out of the way. Then she comes around, stepping around with her right foot and chops the wrist. I get the wrist out of the way. She then steps in with her right foot and goes for the neck. It kind of an arcing, it's sort of that, this cut comes around and arcing, a slicing. It's not a poke, it's not a cut, it's just a little slicing kind of motion. Good. And lastly, she then takes the weight, makes the weight all on the right foot, replaces the back left foot, and cuts downward. Now she can drop her weight. When she does this cut, she can, because she wants to get down, she can cut down, right, and get back, and and getting back right out. Yeah, good, really good. Okay, so once again from the beginning. So saluting the partner. Good, so she changes the hand. She blocks, cuts the wrist. Steps in, cuts the neck. Steps in, thrusts to the belly. Side step, she blocks down. Then this is called spiral up and cut the wrist. She goes for the neck and back and out, cutting the knee and changing the hand. Very nice, very, very good. Okay, let me come back in here so you stay here. Okay, so this is really fun. This is great. Okay, so let's put this together again. So now that you've seen each solo form, you've seen the applications, let's go back and put it together, and I think you'll gain more of an enjoyment for the intricacies and the beauty of how this form is made. Forms are beautiful the way they're designed, you know. This just keeps going around and around, and it's nice, and you're changing levels. And A, since I'm a lot older than Stephanie, A has a lot, I just kind of stand in one place basically, and she moves all the way around, but then that is as it should be. Okay, so here we go. So you're bowing to your partner. Sinking, stepping back. We both do salute the partner. Okay, we then change the saber hand. Now, I replace the foot, shift, come around, step in, go for the neck. She possible block and possible wrist cut, I get out. She comes up for my neck, I guard. She then comes for the belly, I stick and neutralize her to the side. I thrust the ribs, she side steps. I go for the neck, she blocks and comes from my wrist, I equalize. She comes for my neck, I block. She comes for my knee, I get the knee out of the way, go for her arm. She then becomes A. She goes for my neck, I go for her wrist. I go for her neck, she blocks. I thrust to her belly, she neutralizes. She thrusts to my ribs, I sidestep. She goes for my neck, I block. I go for her wrist, she gets back. I go for her neck, she blocks. I go for her knee, she gets out, I get back. And then we just can close. Just changing the hand and come back, little circle, and weave.